Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We're going to start with grade 6 maths. So you can find all the lessons. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 6. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with chapter number 30. The lessons we're going to cover today are greatest common factor, least common multiple, GCF and LCM word problems, and then lowest common multiple LCM. So let's just start with the first lesson, that is greatest common factor. Here I'm on grade 6 math. Chapter we're working on is number 30, and let's just start with the lesson, that is greatest common factor. Okay, what is the greatest common factor of 6 and 8? So list the factor of each number, right? Factors are the numbers that when you multiply makes, like 6, you have to write the factors of 6. So you have to write all the numbers that when multiplied make 6. 6 times 1 is 6. So 1 and 6 are the factors, and 3 times 2 are 6. So 2 and 3 are the factors, right? Same way you have to write the factors of 8. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 and 1, and 4 times 2 is 8. You have to look for the greatest common factor. So you have only one factor that is common, 2. That means the greatest common factor of 6 and 8 is 2, right? Okay, the next one is, what is the greatest common factor of 17 and 6? 17 is a prime number, right? So prime number has only two factors. They are 1 and 17. And the factors of 6 are 6, 1, 2, 3, and 6, right? So they have only one common factor, that is 1, because 17 is prime. Whenever you have a prime number and another number given, their greatest common factor is always 1, right? Okay, what is the greatest common factor of 15 and 9? Again, you can see 19 and 5. 19 is a prime number. So the greatest common factor of 19 and 5 is 1. Because 19 only have two factors, 1 and 19, right? So they have the greatest common factor, that is 1. Let's just start with the practice questions. What is the greatest common factor of 19 and 5? That's the one we just did. Keep this very important point in your mind. If you have to look for a greatest common factor of two numbers, one of them is prime. The greatest common factor is always 1, because the prime number have only two factors, 1 and the number itself, right? So that means the greatest common factor is always 1 if one of the number is prime, right? Okay, the next one is, what is the greatest common factor of 3 and 9? Let's just find the greatest common factor of 3 and 9. So we're going to list the factors of 3 and factors of 9, right? So factors of 3. 3 is a prime number. No. Yes, prime number. 1 times 3 is 3, right? Now you have to write down the factors of 9. 1 times 9 is 9, and also 3 times 3 is 9, isn't it? They are the only factors of 9. You don't have any other factors that makes 9. So you have a common factor, greatest common factor. 1 is common, but the greatest number is 9. So the GCF of 3 and 9 is 3, right? That means 3 is the greatest number that can divide both 3 and 9. So the GCF is 3. If you already know the answers, please write in the chat box. Your participation is highly appreciated. Okay, what is the greatest common factor of 18 and 14? Okay, let's just write the factors of 18. Okay, which two numbers when multiplied makes 18? 1 times 18 is 18. 2 times 9 is 18. And 3 times 6 is 18. That is an easy method to write the factors because factors are always in the pair. Like 18 times 1 is 18. So 1 here and 18 here. Then 2 times 9 is 18. 2 and 9. Then 3 times 6 is 18. These are all the factors of 18. You don't have any other factors of 18, right? And the next other number is 12, I think. 14. Okay. Let's just write down the factors of 14. 1 times 14 is 14. And 2 times 7 is 14. Do we have other two numbers that makes 14? No. So which is the greatest common factor? 2. That means the GCF is 2, right? So the correct option is 2. That means 2 is the greatest number that can divide both 18 and 14, right? Very good. What is the greatest common factor of 18 and 9? Okay, we have already written the factors of 18. Let's just write down the factors of 9. Okay, 1 times 9 is 9, right? And 3 times 3 is 9. These are the only factors of 9. So which is the greatest common factor? You can see 1 is common, 3 is common, and 9 is common. But you have to look for the greatest number. So which is, yes, 9 is the greatest. So the greatest common factor is 9, right? So it is 9. Is the greatest common factor of 12 and 14? Okay, factors of 12 and 14. Okay, let's just write down the factors of 12 and the factors of 14, right? Okay, 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. And 3 times 4 is 12, right? Then you have to write down the factors of 14. 1 times 14 is 14. And 2 times 7 is 14. So which is the greatest common factor? 2 is the greatest common factor, right? So the GCF of 14 and 12 is 2. So the correct option is 2. Also, let me just tell you an easier way. If you are given with the options, like what is the greatest common factor of 8 and 16? Just look at the factors 8, 9, and 10. 8 and 16. 9 is not the factor of neither 8 nor 16, right? Also, 10 is not the factor of 8 and 16. That means the correct option is 8, right? If you are given with the options, you can just look at like 9 is not the factor of 8 nor 16, and same is the case for 10. That means then the correct option is 8. 8 times 1 is 8 and 8 times 2 is 16, isn't it? So it would be 8. Okay, let's see this one. What is the greatest common factor of 15 and 4? 2 times 2 is 4. 1, 2 and 4. And 15, 4 is an even number and 15 is an odd number. They do not have any common multiple other than 1, just 1, right? If you are given an even and an odd number, their greatest common factor is always 1. Got it? But not necessarily. What is the greatest common factor of 7 and 14? Just look at the options and tell me the right answer. Which is the correct option? Correct option is 7 because 6 is not the factor of 14 and not a factor of 7 also. Same is the case for 8. So that means 7 is the correct option, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is least common multiple, LCM. Okay, so for the GCF, you can write the factors, greatest common factors. You can write the factors of a number. So for LCM, least factors are different, right? You can see the multiples of 3 are, that is actually the table of 3, right? 3 times 1 is 3, 2 is 6, 3 is 9, 4 is 12, 5 is 15, 6 is 18, 7 is 21, 8 is 24, 9 is 27, and 10 is 30, right? So for the LCM you have to write the multiples, and for the GCF you have to write the factors. Like you can see, you have 5 times 4 makes 20, right? So 5 and 4 are the factors of 20, and 20 is the multiple of 4 and multiple of 5. Like 20 is the number you can divide it on both 4 and 5, and 4 and 5 are the numbers that when multiply makes 20, right? So this is the difference between the factors and the multiples. Okay, let's just start with the practice questions. Okay, so you have to write down the you have to find the least common multiple. You have to write down the multiples of 3 and multiples of 10. So here is the multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 until 30, right? Then you have 10, 20, 30, and 40. You have to find the least common, the smallest number that is common, that would be 30, right? Let's just start with the practice questions. What is the least common multiple of 2 and 4? Multiples of 2 and multiples of 4. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 is 4, 3 is 6, 4 is 8, 5 is 10. They are the multiples of 10. And 4 times 1 is 4, 2 is 8, 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. Least common means you have to look for the smallest common number. So the smallest common number is 4. So the LCM of 2 and 4 is 4, right? The correct option is 4. What is the least common multiple of 4 and 12? We have already written the multiples of 4. Let's just write down the multiples of 12. Okay, 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 3 is 36, and 12 times 4 is 48. You have to look for the least, the smallest common multiple. Very good. That would be 12. So the least common multiple is 12, right? The correct option is 12. What is the least common multiple of 10 and 12? Okay, we have already written the multiples of 12. Let's just write down the multiples of 10. 10 times 1 is 10, 2 is 20, 3 is 30, 4 is 40, 5 is 50, and 6 is 60. 12 times 4 is 48, and 12 times 5 is 60. So, which is the least common multiple of 12 and 12? 12, 12 and 10? Very good, that would be 60. So, the correct option is 60. What is the least common multiple of 3 and 9? Which is the correct option? 9, 10, and 11. Okay, just look at the options. Which is the correct option? The least number that is the common multiple is 9. Evangeline, why you hate this class? The reason. Just tell me the reason. But why? I want to know the reason. No, if you hate the class, you can just tell me the reason. No worries. What is the least common multiple of 10 and 8? Which is the correct option? Okay, let's just write down the multiples of 8 and 10. You love or hate the class. I am here to teach you. No reason. No worries. Multiples of 8 and 10. Yes, very good. That would be 40. 10 times 1 is 10, 2 is 20, 3 is 30, and 4 is 40. 8 times 1 is 8, 2 is 16, 3 is 24, 4 is 32, and 8 times 5 is 40. So you can see this is the smallest number that is common. So that would be 40. The correct option is 40. What is the least common multiple of 3 and 10? Which is the correct option? The correct option is 30. The least common multiple of 3 and 10 are, yes, very good. That would be 30. What is the least common multiple of 2 and 10? Which is the correct option? Yes, very good. That would be 10. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. 10, 10 it is. The smallest number you have to look for. 2 times 10 is 20 and 10 times 2 is 20. It is 10. Yes. Okay, let's just start with the next lesson. And next lesson is GCF and LCM word problems. Okay, the basic thing is you have to understand the statement of the question. From the statement, you just have to see if you have to find a GCF or LCM, right? Let's just start with the first example. In preparation for a conference, May is setting up some stations where people can create their own name tags. She has 16 name tags and 8 pens, which she wants to distribute evenly among the name tag stations with none left over. What is the greatest number of the name tag stations that May can set up? You have to look for the greatest number. That means you have to find a GCF, right? If you have smallest here or least here, that means you have to calculate the LCM. So for the GCF, you have to write the factors of 16 and 8, right? So here is the factors of 16. They are 16, 8, 4, 2 and 1. And the factors of 8 are 8, 4, 2 and 1. You have to for the greatest number, the greatest number is 8. That means the greatest number of tag stations May can set up is 8. Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, Jackson is buying pens and pencils from the store. Pens come in packages of 8, but pencils are sold in packages of 12. If Jackson wishes to purchase the same number of pens and pencils, what is the smallest numbers of pens that he can buy? Okay, you can see now smallest number. That means you have to calculate the LCM of 8 and 12, right? Let's just calculate the LCM of 8 and 12. Multiples of 8, let's just write the multiples of 8, and yes, that would be 12. 24, very good. And 12, okay. 8 times 1 is 8, 2 is 16, 3 is 24, 4 is 32. 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 3 is 36, 12 times 4 is 48. You have to find the least number. The least number that is common is 24, right? So the correct option is 24. Over the next 2 days, Boone Employment Agency is interviewing clients who wish to find jobs. On the first day, the agency plans to clients in group interview clients in groups of 8. If the employment agency will interview the same number of clients on each day, what is the smallest number of clients that would be interviewed each day? So which is the correct option? You have to find the smallest number. That means you have to calculate the least common multiple, LCM. So which is the correct option? We just did the least common multiple of 8 and 12 for the last question. That would be, yes, 24. You can see on the board. Here it is. The least common multiple of 8 and 12 is 24. The correct option is 24. Very good. Janelle is creating snack bowls out of walnuts and cashews. She has 10 walnut and 20 cashew, and she wants each bowl to have an identical number of walnuts and cashews with no nuts left over. What is the greatest common of bowls Janelle can create? Greatest number, that means you have to calculate the GCF, right? Let's just write down the factors of 10 and 20 because you have to calculate the GCF. GCF of 10 and 20. Let's just calculate the factors of 10 and then the factors of 20. Factors of 10 are 1 times 10 is 10, 2 times 5 is 10, and 1, 2, 5, and 10. Now the factors of 20 are 1 times 20 is 20, 2 times 10 is 20, and 4 times 5 is 20. So which number is the greatest one? Factors you are writing, not multiples. Greatest number is, it would be 10, right? The greatest common factor would be 10. At a school event, adults are seated in group of exactly 19 and children are seated in a group of exactly 13. If there are same numbers of adults and children, what is the minimum value of adulting of adults attending? So which is the correct option? You have to look for the minimum number. That means you have to write down the LCM of 13 and 19. Right? So let's just calculate the LCM of 13 and 19. Let's just calculate the light down the multiples of 13 and the multiples of 19, right? Okay, let me just write down the multiples of 13. 13 times 1 is 13, 2 is 26, 3 is 39, 4 is 52, 5 is, I don't know the table, let me just calculate. 13 times 5 is 65. You have to write so many multiples. 13 times 6 is 78. 13 times 7 is 91. 13 times 8 is 104. 13 times 9 is 117. 13 times 10 is, okay. You can see the answers. They are 243, 247, and 249. Look for the number that can be divided by both 19 and 13, right? I think that is 243. 243 divided by 13 is, no, it would be 247. 247 divided by 13, yes. The correct option is 247 because 247 is the number that can be divisible by both 13 and 19, right? That means the least common factor of 13 and 19 is 247. The correct option is 247. Yes, very good. That is 247. Okay. Taylor's stationery sells thank you cards in the pack of 7 and birthday cards in packages of 16. Surprisingly, the store sold the same number of each type of card this month. What is the minimum number of each card type that the store must have sold? Okay, again, you have to find the least common multiple, right? One important thing about the least common multiple is like you are given two numbers, they do not have any common factors. Like 7 and 16 have no common factor. Then their least common multiple would be the product of these numbers, right? You have to do 16 times 7. That would be the least common multiple. 112. 16 times 7 is 112. So in this case, the least common multiple is 112 because 16 and 7 have no common multiple. It would be then you have to multiply them. It would be then 112, right? Kenny's apparel sell undershirts in pack of 14. The store's competitor Ben's Basic sells undershirts in pack of 10. If both stores sold the same number of undershirts yesterday, what is the smallest number of undershirts each should have sold? So, which is the correct option? 10 and 14 have common multiples, right? Let's just write down the least common multiples of 14 and 10. 14 times 3 is 42. 14 times 5 is, no, 14 times 4 is 56. And 14 times 5 is 70. Yes. 10 times 1 is 10, 2 is 20, 3 is 30, 4 is 40, 5 is 50, 6 is 60, and 7 is 70. So you can see the least common multiple is 70, right? So the correct option is 70. The correct option is 70. Okay, you can complete the test by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, right? And the next lesson is LCM, least common lowest common multiple in steps. Okay, stand LCM stands for lowest common multiple or least common multiple, right? What you have to do, step 1, write down the multiples of first number or skip count the first number. Write about 5 of them. So you have to write the multiples of first number, and then you have to write down the multiples of second number or skip count the second number. Write about 5 of these as well. Starting from the first number, connect the matching or same numbers in both rows, right? Find the smallest number you have matched and you will find your LCM, right? So you can see the you have to write down the LCM of 2 and 4. So start with 2, write the multiples of 2. 5 multiples: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then write down the 5 multiples of 4: 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Right? Look for the common number, the smallest common number. Here you have 4. That means the LCM of 4 and 8 is 4. Right? Let's just start with the practice questions. What is the least common multiple of 2 and 4? We just did on tutorial. Which is the correct option? Yes, that would be 4. Very good. What is the least common multiple of 5 and 10? Okay, let's just do step by step. Let's just start with multiples of 5. First 5 multiples: 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Let's just start with first 5 multiples of 10: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. The least common multiple is very good. That would be 10. So the correct option is 10, right? What is the LCM of 2 and 6? Very good. That would be 6. What is the LCM of 3 and 5? Which is the correct option? The correct option is very good. That would be 15. What is the LCM of 3 and 4? Which is the correct option? Yes, the correct option is 12. The least common multiple is 12. You can write the multiples if you don't know. What is the least common multiple of 10 and 20? The correct option is 20. Very good. What is the LCM of 3 and 6? The correct option is 6. Very good. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So, we are working on grade 6 maths. The lessons we have covered, we are working on the chapter number theory. The lessons we have covered today are greatest common factor, least common multiple, GCF and LCM word problems, and lowest common multiple LCM. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the test questions for the lessons we did today. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available for Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. So that's all for today. If you have any question, you can ask. No questions? Okay, that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye everyone.